So today we're at Drem and we're stood on a really lovely railway station at the moment, and we're about to do a walk up to Hopetoun Monument and wander about East Lothian. So thanks for joining on one of these videos. There is a weather warning on today. It's a little bit breezy here on the station platform and it's meant to get much worse later on, but I don't believe it looking at the sky. What I'll do is cut to the end of this video and I'll just tell you whether the weather got really bad or not. So I'll be back in a moment. If you're watching this at home with the fire on, eating an Easter egg, yeah, I think you probably chose the right thing rather than walking around some hills in the pouring rain. Well, that's what happened. It's either going to be a really lovely walk today and really good weather, or it was really horrible. You know, I don't. We don't have a firm route map at the moment. We've got a rough idea. So at the end of the video I will put a map and you can download that from my Patreon page. But for now, let's head off out of the station and away from Drem and into the countryside. So let's get going. So Drem's a really lovely place. There's quite a few cars going through it today. Like that guy there's having a good old time in his convertible. So the good part about this walk is that the railway station, you get here by public transport. There's a National Museum of Flight along that way. There's also a car museum near here too, so there's a lot of things to do. Anyway, we're going to head up this way. This is the road towards Edinburgh. So we're heading in a kind of westerly direction at the moment, I suppose. But only up to that sign when we're going to turn left and go up and over the railway track. Okay, let's get off this noisy road. We're heading up this way. There's the railway track. Oh, there's some more black sheep over there. It seems to be a thing in this area, but maybe. Right, we'll get up here. We're not going to be on this road for very long. We're going to branch off and go up that hill you can see in the background there with the trees. We're just going to go straight on here. I know it says no entry, but I think that's for cars. Some forestry work going on down there. Anyway, we're going to go up this path here. I think there's some people walking there in the distance. Try not to fall down the bank here. There we go, right. It does feel a bit breezy here, but no sign of that storm. I think it's called Storm Dave or something like that. It's meant to be coming in this evening, and it is forecast to have a bit of rain, but can't see it at the moment. I can also see maybe just over there, up where those birds just flew up in the distance, is the Hopetoun Monument, which we're going to go over to as well. So let's head up this tree-lined road and see where we go. So just spotted round here this lovely looking old Ford tractor. I think it's been used as a pumping machine. There's a little lake back here. What a fantastic old machine this is. There's some deep water there. There's trees falling down as well. Looks like it was sold in Aberdeen at some point. Anyway, cool old tractor. But we're just going to continue on up this road a little bit. So we're just coming up to this point here. There's a little bench that you can sit on. It's quite unexpected. I think the path to the right goes along the side of this field where those tractor tracks are. It says it goes along the side of the dry stone wall, but I can't actually see it. Anyway, you can take a seat there if you want. It doesn't really matter because we're going to continue following this road. It skirts around the side of the hill along this way, and then we're going to do a U-turn and go through the trees up here. Really nice views here. You can see Berwick Law in the background, even as far as the Bass Rock. So this is where we branch off the road. To the left there, that's following on to Kilduff. I think it's just in the trees there. But we're going to go around this way to go up the hill. So this is, of course, Kilduff Hill, and it's up this way. There's a lot of kind of dumped bits of wood just here. I noticed that when we were coming up the road. So it's definitely been used as a dumping ground and maybe a place to burn stuff. It's a bit slippy here underfoot as well. It's just a mud track up to the top of the hill. I keep hearing a woodpecker in amongst the trees here somewhere. I haven't seen it. And of course now I've got the film rolling, it won't do. Oh, there it went. Just on cue. That was good. And we've also heard some pheasants as well, but not actually seen any. It's very thick wood, this. Anyway, let's see. I think this doesn't last for very long, and then we start going downhill. This isn't really high hill or anything. We're just following this path. Well, no sign of that storm yet. It's actually very peaceful here as well. The wind's just a gentle breeze. Hope it doesn't get any worse than that as we go on. It's been a couple of weeks actually since the last walk we did, because the weather's been really bad in this area. And of course it's good during the week when you're at work, and then at the weekend it's the only time I get to go out in the countryside. You know, the weather's always really bad and it's just very typical. So we haven't been out for a while, but we're out here today. I looked at the weather and I thought, we'll just chance it. And I think it's paying off at the moment, but that's famous last words, isn't it? Anyway, it's nice up here on the top of this hill. And we're just going to follow this path. I think it goes all the way over the top of the hill and all the way down the other side, so we'll just keep on following this path. Well, we're coming out of the trees now. I think that was Kilduff Wood maybe, but anyway, some really good views here. You can see the Firth of Forth there, and the path is getting a bit hard to find at the moment. We're going to head down here. I think there should be a road down here which we're going to join. Just going to have to try and find a path. This is marked on the Ordnance Survey as being a path, but it's a bit overgrown at the moment. I can see another dry stone wall up ahead, so we'll see. Should be a path onto the road. Well, it's pretty handy that this area has been cleared of the gorse, but you can see just how thick and tall it is on this side here where it hasn't been touched yet. Now, this is where the path kind of, I don't know, just fades out on Ordnance Survey. So I'm hoping there's going to be a route through here, through the gorse. It looks like there is. That's good. Oh yeah, we can get through here. And there's the dry stone wall. Ah, brilliant. Okay, we're on track. So we come through here, yay, and down here. Brilliant. There's a good view actually over here. Just go up here, you can see Hopetoun Monument there in the distance, and that other hill there I can see, I think that's a trick point on top of it, so we'll try and get to that as well. But for now we're going to get down through here. No idea where this path goes. Right, let's get down here. Maybe we need to go through this dry stone wall. There's a hole over there. Looks like it. Okay, for the next bit, looks like we're going to go into some open fields. So let's get through here. Which way do we go now? It's just down the edge of the field that way. It shows on the map there's a bit of a right and then a left turn here, just by this dry stone wall, and then we're going to head over to those trees there. I think that might actually be called Gallows Law, or maybe it's just the area we're on. Not sure. And it says there's a mound as well on the map. I guess maybe that's a burial mound, maybe? I don't know. Might not be anything important or interesting. Anyway, at least the path, you know, you can follow it quite easily between these two fields. Nice views there over the river Forth. Some big ship with the yellow crane things on it. I don't know what that is. Actually, you know what? I've got a shipping app. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. Okay, we're just going to do a side quest here. We're going to go through this stone wall. There's a little gap there. It does say mound on the Ordnance Survey map, and there's a star as well. I think it's just over here, but yeah, I don't know. There's a wire up there. Hope that's not electrified. Is this it? Oh, it's a bit disappointing if it is. There is a path going down here. I wonder whether we should just go down here. Let's give it a try. Okay, we've kind of lost the path there, so there's a hole in the wall here. I'm just going to jump through here. Okay, side quest over. And we did actually spook a deer there, but of course my camera wasn't rolling at the time. Anyway, just going to have to take our word for it. So at least that's one deer we've seen on this walk. Right, we're almost down at this road now. Okay, we're just joining this road for a minute. Remember to watch out for cars when you're joining this road. It's not a busy road, but sometimes there is cars. This place down here is called Hopetoun, and over there is Hopetoun House. You can take a path around that, but I kind of thought it was maybe a private ground, so we're going to go this way. There's a car coming now. Just take the long way round. So just walking down this road a little bit and then we'll take a left-hander. So if you'd taken the right-hander at the bench that we saw earlier beside the dry stone wall, you would have come out here. Different route. I don't think it would be as good as the one we took. I quite like going through the woods. Anyway, you'd end up in the same point here on this road. Right, we're going to get off this road now, take a left here into Hopetoun. See what this buzzing metropolis is like. If there's any discos or bars, might be a Wetherspoons, you never know. Joking. Gosh, an old Porsche 944. Brilliant car. Not seen one of them for many years. Looks like it needs a bit of TLC though. So I actually think this is called Hopetoun Holdings, not just Hopetoun. And what a lovely place this is, look at that. What a fantastic place to live. Okay, that's Hopetoun House there. I'm glad we actually took the detour around because it doesn't look as though we should have gone through there. So we took the right route and then we're heading along this path again out into the countryside and hopefully up to the top of the monument up on the left. There's an awful lot of abandoned farm equipment. Here's another thing here. I've seen quite a lot of it just in the village back there. I'm on the walk so far. So we're going to the right here, but I thought I'd just show you left here. It's this Hopetoun House, and it looks as though it has some like holiday let little sheds, or what are they called? Shepherd's huts or things like that. So that'd be a good place to stay if you fancy it. Oh yeah, gonna go along this way now. Again with the wide open views. And once I get past this bush here, you can see the monument a bit more clearer. So we're slowly but steadily getting closer to it. That looks like they're putting in some new electrical overhead wires here. Or else they've just given up and dumped it. So we're coming up here now to a place, this is called Byres, I think, B-Y-R-E-S. There's an awful lot of kind of stone walls over there, and it looks like an old dugcot or something. I think it might be part of this farm though. I'm not going to go and have a look if it's theirs, but if it's free to get in, or, free access, I'm going to have a look. Actually, I don't know, I think it's probably their property, so I don't think I'll bother. Okay, we're coming up here, we're going to take a left. Wow, there's a lot of birds there. It says right of way, and it goes up to the road that way, but we're just going to do another little bit of a side quest and have a look down here, because this looks like a really nice place. Another one, and it's got an old arch there. Don't know what that was. Quite an impressive arch. Obviously an old building from the past. And there's that walled part there with the dewcot, I think it is, inside it. What a lovely place this is. So we're just going to have a quick walk through here, and then we'll double back and go up that path I just showed you a minute ago. So let's see what we can see. Oh, what a fantastic building that is. I think that's the end of the farm up there. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, let's double back and we'll go up that path I showed you before. Okay, we're just back where we were with hundreds of birds on the hedge there. So let's get up here. There's a road between us and the hill, so I'll check in with you once we get to that road. It's just another open field here. I think that on the right there is called Rye Hill. I think it is. I'm just going to check my map. We're almost at the road. It's just a B road. Again, watch out for cars. I think this is actually called Jinging Hill. We've just come up. It's a bit hard to tell. It's just kind of randomly placed on the Ordnance Survey map. Or maybe that little mound over there is called Jinging Hill. I don't know. In front of us, so is called Byres Hill. We've got some like crags there right in front of us, so we're going to have to go around to the right a little bit, just on the road. So if you're doing this walk again, you know, watch out for cars. I'll negotiate this gate if I can. The wind's picking up a little bit, so sorry if you hear some wind noise on the video. Like there's a car there. So you can see the crags and the trees. So we're going to go this way. There's not much of a path, so we're going to have to be careful. So we'll just walk along the verge. There's a van coming now as well. So yeah, you're going to have to be careful on this bit. But it's not for very long. It says there's a path going up the side of the hill, just around this corner, so at least you can see a little bit in the distance if there's a car coming. So is that Jinging Hill? Not sure. It's more like just a big rock. Okay, so here's the entrance. It's got a sign there as well, brilliant. So we know we're on the right bit. Hopetoun Monument, take your litter home. So I think this is going to be quite steep up this path here. There's a car park here if you want to drive and just do this bit. But this is pretty much kind of just straight up the hill, so we're going to get up here. I'll be doing a lot of huffing and puffing if I keep the camera going, because I haven't been out for 2 weeks and I'm feeling it today. Maybe I should drink less beer and eat less pies, or try and get out a bit more. One of them. Maybe the second one. Let's get up this hill and I'll catch you at the top. Well, that was a bit of a sharp climb up to this monument. I can't say it's the prettiest monument in the world. It's just a big dirty tower, I suppose. Looks like a chimney from like a factory or something. But there are really good views from up here. Look at these panoramic views. Amazing. So there's a plaque up here that says this monument was erected to the memory of the great and the good. Let's look now. I'll look it up on the internet and I'll put a little ticker down the bottom of the screen here, kind of plotted history of this monument. Around here, I think there's a doorway behind the gate, and circular stairs up to the top. You're obviously not allowed in, and a dead pigeon. Great. think we're probably going to go this path next. Over to, I think it's Skid Hill's the next one. So this is the top of Byres Hill. So I think we're actually going to stop here for some food. A cup of coffee and a sandwich, really, just our lunch. But yeah, there you go. Hopetoun Monument. I wonder if it's ever open. You can go upstairs. Upstairs. You know, to the top, you know what I mean. Right, that's enough filming. I'm going to get my lunch. And we'll be back on the walk in a minute. Well, the wind is picking up a little bit. It's not too bad. Anyway, we're off again. We're going to head through this way and hopefully get over to Skid Hill. And I think there's a trig point up there. So I'll follow this through the trees. Don't know where it goes, but we'll see. Another one of the fallen trees. There's a lot of them. And over here as well, a bit of an assault course. Well, we're following this path around, but it's kind of looped around back on itself, unfortunately. And where we want to go, Skid Hill, is behind us now, so I'm not sure how to get there unless we go over some fields. So maybe we might need to go back a little bit in order to get back around, because this is heading back to the monument. So you can see this is completely planned out. Right, let's get back up here. Then we'll head back down through the woods. I think there is a path. We just have to find it. Okay, we just come round in a big circle now. Unfortunately, we're back on the path where we were earlier. So we're going to head down again, this steep bit, and then hopefully find another path down there. I might go over this way. But yeah, we're having to backtrack a little bit. Hopefully not too far. Right, well, we've got to the bottom of the hill now. This path continues on back to the car park. But we're going to turn left here and jump over that. Oh, there's a bit of barbed wire. Anyway, we're going to go into this field. It's starting to get a bit windy now as well, and a bit raining. So I think that storm's coming in, which isn't good because we're at the furthest point right now. Anyway, let's get over here. And then we'll continue on. Well, the sitting map has worked again on the barbed wire, and we're in the field now. So I think it's just a gentle climb all the way up to the top of Skid Hill up there. And the trig point. The rain's also started now as well, which is annoying. Anyway, hopefully it won't get too bad before we finish this walk. We're about 8 kilometres into it now. Looks like some kind of bird box or something up there. Maybe it's for a bird of prey, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're not going up that hill today. We're still in this field, but I think we can jump over at this point here. You might hear a constant swish, swish, swish in the background. My partner's put her waterproof trousers on. I think Billy Connolly had a joke about that once. Anyway, yeah, there's more barbed wire here, so I'm going to have to carefully get over this. Okay, I'm over the fence, and now we're just making our way up through this field. There's no defined path here. We're just doing our best. I think there's a quarry around here somewhere. It's raining pretty constantly now. Yeah, the wind's picking up too. Okay, from here I can see some fencing, and I guess that's the quarry there. It looks like quite a steep cliff, so gonna have to be careful. The weather's closing in now. You can't really see much of a view, which is a shame because it would have been great up here. I think it's just up this little rise here, and then we'll be on the top of Skid Hill. Okay, so there's the Hopetoun Monument back there, and here we are, just approaching the trig point of Skid Hill. There's quite a drop to our right here where the quarry is, and this fence isn't going to stop anyone, so be careful if you're coming up here. But here we go with the trig point. Now I think there'll be absolutely fantastic views here. But unfortunately the weather's closed in since this morning, so yeah, you don't see an awful lot. Anyway, here we go, there's the number. Like there's a castle down there. Also the remains of one. There's some more crags. So I think we're going to head this way, although we might have to head back down and round. I'm just going to do a recce. around. Look at that. It's certainly quite nice dramatic scenery. And there's the quarry as well. So I think we want to head over to that road, and then if you see those radio masts on the horizon there, I think there's a path up to those, so I think we'll go up and over that way, because these are just crags here, quite steep. And then we'll head back along this way to Drun. Is it Drun? Yeah, I think it was. Okay, let's head back and then down. So we've come around the edge of the, I suppose the cliffs, the quarry anyway. Just being careful to keep away from the edge, obviously. And now we're actually entering into the quarry. There's an old building there. I'll check that out in a minute, but we'll go up here. We'll have a look at the actual quarry. I don't know when this was abandoned. It doesn't look as though it's been abandoned for like loads and loads of years. You see a lot of these kind of medieval quarries, which are very old. This one, I don't know. If you know the history, let me know in the comments. But here we go. Look at this. Wow. Oh, that's certainly quite impressive. Yeah, I don't want to get too close to the cliffs, especially because it's raining now. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, we just come over these gates here and we've joined this road, but obviously, again, be careful. Here we go. A couple of cars. Interesting cliff face over there. But we're going to head up this way for a little while and join another path. So we have to walk up the side of the road for a bit. Oh, there's a car. So obviously be careful here. Anyway, we've come a short way up this road. It's quite busy actually, there's a lot of cars. But it's not that far. Maybe just 300, 400 metres, something like that. Here we go, public path, Garleton Hills. That's where we're heading over to that radio mast there. So let's get over this gate and we'll head on over there. Okay, we made it to the top of Barney Hill. The ruined building here. Obviously the mobile phone mast. There's quite a few of them. And let's check this out. Bricks everywhere. There's a lot of noise coming from this one over here. I reckon it'd be great views from up here, but again, rain's coming in now. Anyway, we're going to head this way. There doesn't seem to be any defined path again, so we're going to have to just go across the field. Oh we found a bit of a Land Rover track, so we're just going to follow that past these other mobile phones as well. That looks like satellite TV or something. And we're heading over this way. I think there's meant to be a fort along here. It might be one of those medieval ones. It's just like a mound of earth these days. So don't get your hopes up if you're watching this at home. But you never know, might be good. Oh, this mast is beeping. And it's starting to rain. Well, it's not starting, it's been raining for a while now. It's not super heavy. I'd say it's a fine Scottish summer day. Well, actually it's Easter, but still, can't complain. Right, we're going to follow this path and head along this way to hopefully a really impressive fort. Okay, so this track gets a bit more defined and goes down that way, but we're actually going to go this way because I don't think we'll get a chance to see this fantastic fort that would rival Disneyland. But if you go this way around, there's a gate there which you can jump over. This is an electric fence on our right, so we'll be careful we don't get electrocuted. But we'll jump this gate and we'll get up and have a look at this fort. Alright, so I think this is it. It's not much more than a bit of raised and lowered ground and a lot of hares. So yeah, I've seen a lot of these kind of things that says, you know, fort, and you think, wow, it's going to be great. Anyway, kind of joking, it's cool to be here. Although, if you're watching this at home with the fire on, eating an Easter egg, yeah, I think you probably chose the right thing rather than walking around some hills in the pouring rain. At least I'm getting fit, or I hope so anyway. So this seemed to be quite a large area. Look at this. Are these fortifications or something? Yeah, there's not much here now, but this would have been quite a large area in its time. And also, great view. Let's go over here a bit. Yeah, not much to it these days. I mean, cool that we came here, I suppose, but I don't think it's going to rival Disneyland. Not even a cafe. Right, I think we just carry on down this way. I want to be over there, and there's a gate. Maybe try and get down there. There's an electric fence, so we're going to have to try and get down and go over that bit. Should be okay. Anyway, in case I slip and make some funny video, I'll just cut to being down there. Well, the power of editing, got down no problem at all, didn't even fall. So we're back onto this track again now, and we're heading down here to Barney Mains, which I guess is that farm building or a collection of buildings down there, and then we'll go through there and continue straight on. I think there's another, let's say, well, is it a class 1 tourist attraction? I'm not sure. I think it's an old castle. Actually, I can see it in the distance, so something else interesting coming up, hopefully. But the rain's really starting to come down now. I suppose it's not bucketing down, so I should see the positive in it. But yeah, this is certainly a far cry from when we started off. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't get any worse. Okay, we made it down to Barney Mains. It's a lovely farm. I love these old farm buildings. Got so much character to them. Okay, we're just leaving the farm buildings, and it says public path there. So probably should have come down that way rather than the way we came, but anyway, it's alright. I said hello to a couple of people. Anyway, some more nice houses here. Look at these, they're really cool. I think the public path is just left after these houses here, so... Oh yeah, I can see the sign. Cool. So I think that's worked out quite well. Athelstaneford, 1.5 miles. Great. Okay. That's Barney Farmhouse, which really looks pretty cool actually. Right away, we're going to go this way. So I can see that we're going to go past that castle. So that'll be quite interesting. Wide open views here again, but it's a bit of a dull day now. So you can still see for miles though, it's a bit hazy. Right, I'll catch up with you again when we get to the castle. Okay, so on the map this is called the Vaults, formerly Barnes Castle, or Barnes. Barnes? Barnes. One of the two. I wonder why it was renamed the Vaults, I don't know. At the moment it looks like a kind of dumping ground for farm equipment. But it certainly does look pretty interesting, so we're going to have a wee look inside and see what we can see. There's a lot of stuff here. See what we can see over here. And just full of scrap wood here. It's through here. It's certainly got a nice view. I'll go back in this way and then go the other way where this pipe is. There's a lot of tiles in here. Like Spanish tiles. What is that? Wow, that's old. Down here. Yeah, pretty impressive. Okay, let's get back onto the track and then we'll continue on our way. Yeah, this is definitely pretty good. I love the gun holes in the side there. Well worth visiting. This section here is called Seaton Law, and we're just coming up at the remains of another medieval fort. But I think it's just this pile of mud here again. Not much left of these forts these days. We're just going to skirt around the side of here. Not sure if there's anything up there to have a look at. If this stone is the only thing left of the fort, not really that impressive. I think there's been a lot of quarrying work going on here, so the stones are long gone. There's another place with great views. Let's go over here. You can see Berwick Law in the distance still, and the Bass Rock. Even though the weather's coming. Anyway, this isn't as good as the castle, but it's on the route anyway. So, I head along this road a bit more, and then that village you can see there is called Athelstaneford. Athelstaneford, yeah. There's a train in the background. So this track heads down to a fairly busy road down there, but it says public footpath this way to the left. It's not up there because it's got electric fences, so I'm guessing it's along the side of this field here. So let's give that a try. This doesn't feel like the right way. I won't persevere, let's see. Just on my left here, this bit here, That's called Hanging Craig. So that's a bit unlucky for Craig at some point in the past. I can't see a way out of this field, so yeah, I don't want to have to come back up the hill, that'd be annoying. Aha, there's another gate just down here in the corner of the field. So that's really not obvious at all. I think it actually goes all the way along the crag there. Looks like another gate over there. But yeah, let's hope this is the right way. There's a wee burn down here. Maybe there's a bridge over it. Ah, there is. Great, we're in luck. Okay, let me get through this gate and then go up those steps. I can see the Scottish flag on the horizon. Always good to see that. I think there's a heritage centre up here, and that might actually be marking where it is. Anyway, we just have to go between these two fields. Okay, here we're entering Athelstaneford. Public footpath to Garleton Hills. And this is the city centre we're in now. There's the flag. That's a nice little place. Look at this building, it's cool. And that's the primary school. It's nice that they got the flag out. Guess this must be the town hall over here. Let's go and have a look. It's very symmetrical, this building. Okay, it says 1857. Robert Blair, minister of the parish of Athelstaneford and author of The Grave, born 1699, died 1746. Huh. Cool. There's a whole bunch of people's names, but it's starting to wear away, I can hardly see it. Oh, there's a plaque on the building here. Let's see what this says. Parishioners of Athelstaneford, in memory, Eleanor Ann Kinloch, daughter of Sir Alexander Kinloch, 10th Baronet of Gilmerton, 1929. Cool. That school building and the house beside it, such a lovely couple of buildings. They look really good. Anyway, we're going to head up the main street here. It's a typical row of kind of very old cottages. So I think this must be the parish church, obviously. A graveyard. And also, yeah, look, there's a bus stop right here, so you could get the bus out here. East Lothian buses. Athelstaneford, parish of Taprane. Church open today, brilliant. Okay, let's have a look. Better take my hat off. Be very quiet. Some people in there, I thought I'd leave them to it, I didn't want to disturb them. I'm just going to go along here. This is a Saltire Memorial with a flag. It talks about the birth of the flag. And along here there's apparently a viewpoint. I think there might be another flag there. And in the old Dewcott there's a AV show apparently. So let's have a look. Didn't know about this. Flag Heritage Centre. Nice. Be able to get in? That's a very small door. Oh yes, it's open.
It was, I recall, one day in 832, when we were returning north from Northumbria, driving stolen cattle. We had taught the Northumbrians a lesson for their raids on Alba and on Galloway. The cattle were our booty and part of our revenge. Now we found ourselves north of the Lothian tide, faced with a reversal of our fortunes. Our enemies had caught up with us, Saxons, also raiding the Northumbrian Angles under a chieftain Athelstan, and now following us and the cattle. Athelstan, a name you will remember, for this is the story of Athelstaneford. I was a young man then, much the same age as Kenneth, the young Prince of Galloway, whose grandfather was one of two kings, Euche of Scots Dalriada and Angus MacFergus, High King of Pictish Alba, who were leading us. I followed Kenneth and his troop, rather than the two old kings, because of his spirited impatience with the wise old heads. He had the arrogance of youth, but also authority. The authority of a wise head on young shoulders. I followed him gladly on our raid south into Northumbria, and back, and would have followed him to the death. Almost did. But he was our saviour in a battle which became a myth, and a symbol in Scotland forever. Kenneth knew the dangers that lay in the way when the two kings decided to take their men and the cattle into the morass of the Peffer Valley. But his advice was dismissed as the ramblings of a callow youth. We, a scouting party on the ridge between Tyne and Peffer, could see it all beginning to happen. Our kilted army leading the straggling cattle towards the ford at Prora. There could be no hurry. Then the enemy. They were many and getting closer, with a new and greater danger. Athelstan had divided his forces. As one section followed our retreating Gallic horsemen and cattle, another section was heading up the Tyne Valley, obviously intending to encircle us from the west and to grasp us in a mailed fist. Kenneth decided quickly what we in his small troop must do. We rode at speed to another narrow crossing on the Peffer. We did what we could to obstruct the ford in the short time we had. All we found to hand were stunted hawthorn trees, which we dragged onto the ford to make a barrier. Then they came, 800 against our 40. Their first onslaught failed, and we would have stood more, but that they had found another crossing place and were already on our flank. Kenneth knew that our main body of men was in conflict behind us. He turned us to give what help we could in battle there. We wheeled and drove like a wedge through the melee of men, horses and cattle, and our speed carried us through the confusion to the two kings surrounded on the hill. It appeared that all was lost. Were we to perish there? As we turned to face the battlefield, everyone around us was looking upwards. Why were they all looking at the sky? A strange sight. A white cross of cloud against the blue, and then the cry of our Gallic men, "Shangandu!" It was a sign. It gave us new heart. Kenneth rallied us. In an inspired charge, he led us through the turmoil of struggling men where Athelstan, in pursuit of victory, was closing on the two kings. We swept on, amazed by our rising strength. So, it was all over. Athelstan fell, and with him died the heart of the Saxon forces. So the day was ours. You will remember that day always, as I do, when you see the Saltire of Athelstaneford. In the years that followed, the Picts and the Scots grew closer, and united as one nation under a common flag, the Scottish Saltire, as you know it today.
was good and unexpected as well. And we learned a bit of history too. That was great. And there's a viewpoint here of Legend of the Saltire. And the view would be a lot better if it wasn't raining. I think it's really good how they repurposed this Dewcott. Normally you see them just derelict and looking terrible, but this one looks fantastic. Don't know if you can see in the distance, way over there, it's the memorial where we were. The Hopetoun Memorial. And then just over this hill is where we're going, so I need to go and find the track. St. Andrew, 60 AD. Anyway, we'll carry on our walk and we'll go and try and find this other path that we're meant to be finding. Okay, we're just leaving the village now, and here's the sign for the public path. I think this is actually going to say, welcome to the town. Yeah, here you go. Athelstaneford. Okay, go around this way. There's another good bit of ploughing there. Check me, I'm getting impressed by good ploughing. Yeah, that's done really well. Look at that. There's the heritage centre we were just at along with the church. That's such a cool place. Really impressed they did that. So, you know, if you're in the area, check it out. Although if you're watching this video, you've just seen the presentation, to be fair. Between these two fields, and we'll go up to the top and we'll just follow the signs. And we're on the home straight now. Thankfully the rain stopped as well, or almost stopped. And it didn't get that much windy either. Meant to get like storm force or something later today, but not over here, so I think we've lucked out. It did get a little bit wet earlier on, but not too bad. Anyway, I'll catch up with you once we get to the other end of this field, or maybe a bit further on. Okay, we're coming up to a junction of paths here. I think we can go straight on, or at least it shows that on Ordnance Survey, down to the road, or we can go left here, public path to Drem, 2 miles. I think we'll probably just take that, it'd be easier, so we'll head up this way. So here we are back in Kilduff, public path to Drem, 1.5 miles. That's where we're going to go. Up there, that's Kilduff Hill, where we started off our walk. So, oh look at that, there's 2 deer. Can't go. We'll see them for ages because of the wide open fields here. So that's made 3 today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spotted them in the bushes. I was wondering what they were. There's another 5 deer. They're just chilling in the field now as well, but I'm sure they'll run as we get a bit closer. So that's really good. I really didn't expect to see deer here because it's so open and there's not much cover for them. I suppose there was the forest back there on the hill, but out here they're pretty exposed, as you can see. Well, I hope you can see on the camera. Maybe I'll zoom it in a little bit. I'll just keep the camera going on them. We'll see what happens. Oh, this is incredible. This is the closest I've been to some wild deer. Apart from when you startle them and they just run like mad. Yeah, I think they're going to go for it in a minute. They look quite young deer as well, not very big. Ah no, there they go. I knew they would eventually. Although that one at the back's not so sure. Well, that was cool. Wonder if we'll see any more before we get back to the car. Anyway, let's carry on. That's still a mile to go. Right, let's get through here. So we're now in a place called Sunny Bank, and we're going to join this road here and take a left. Again, watch out for cars. I don't think there'll be very many of them on this one. It's just a don't even think it's a B road. I don't know. I'll put it on screen if it is. Don't have far to go now, so I'll catch up with you again in a few minutes. So here we are back at Drem railway station. Can we actually get on here? I think maybe we can. Oh, we can. So we're back where we started this morning. My Garmin says 18.96, so let's call it 19 kilometres. And, well, the weather was meant to be a lot worse than it is, but it hasn't been great today. Certainly better in the morning. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think our next walk might be quite soon actually, so yeah, look out for that on this channel. That's it for this one. Thanks for joining. See ya.